Okay, Sarah, what do your God bumps feel like?
All right, straight off the bat. Well, I can only ever speak from where I am. And as an evolving human being, I can't wait to see how far the spectrum goes in terms of God bumps and what that entails for people and how they perceive it. And I can only from where I stand say what I've experienced and what I experience currently, but who knows, how awesome it can feel when people get God bumps, depending on how high their vibration is.
Hmm.
So that comes to mind because I think that's just how law of attraction works. Like you're only in the vicinity of perceiving something and you can't necessarily make like an immediate leap, and it's ever evolving. There is no top anyway to like how you can experience like these amazing God bump, situations.
Yeah. So do you
Um,
get goosebumps or chills or
no, like I
tinglies
was telling you
or
yesterday, actually, well, funny enough, yesterday on the Zoom, I had mentioned I don't feel like I've necessarily gotten like actual goosebumps. That wouldn't be like the predominant feeling or sensation. I would say it's a little different for me, but funny enough, after I said that, while I was doing my kind of like pre-bedtime meditation, I did this is like the first time it happened, and I was kind of waiting for what would happen, but I did get a lot of sensations right in my fingertips as
uh,
I was doing what was it? Oh, I was doing the bead like 108
hmm,
mantra meditation,
hmm.
and I felt a tingling, and I was kind of like, oh, is this like Rachel, my dog who recently transitioned? Is that her paw in my hand? And then I started feeling in my right hand too. So that kind of happened, and then it kind of went away. But I think for me, it's more of when I feel plugged in or kind of liken it to like, you're like the alignment thing. You're like, oh, a little over here, a little over here, and then it's like click,
Hmm.
and then it's like a current, like kind of more of electric feeling, like like an electrical current, kind of like um, almost like when you become like, well, I'm still working on my lucid dreaming. It's like becoming super present. So that is lucidity. Like when you're dreaming, I've only become lucid. I think it counted only for 5 seconds, but it was really cool. And it was like
Hmm.
everything like zoomed into like very sharp, very rich, colorful details and pictures. And it seems similar to waking life, where when you're plugged in, you're in the present moment, which is a very powerful place to be. And you have this feeling that's very large. And, things are kind of like in a very broad perspective. You can kind of see things like, I guess like one recent example is like I was looking at um, like like a bush with flowers, and I swear I'm not on acid describing this, but and I've never done it, but by the way, but this is what I would imagine people on acid would experience is, like there was one flower with the stem and the branches and another one. And it was like I saw them interacting, and it was as if one was the teacher, the guide, using its kind of like stem arms to like
Hmm.
beckon the other flower like this way. And it was kind of, they were both dancing in the wind. And that's what I perceived, was like there was this kind of teacher guide flower that was like, go this way, dance this way. And I just applied it to myself, like, okay, that's like my higher being and spiritual friends guiding me in a very gentle and loving way. And so I guess through that experience, the sensation I'm getting is like a very kind of, you know, I'm in an ocean. It's a very like heart opening. You're in, like you're that droplet of water that joins the rest of like the body of water.
Hmm.
And it is a feeling of oneness. So it's like different depending on different scenarios, but there's an electric quality to it. And then sometimes it's like that droplet of water joining the ocean. Like I don't, I suddenly feel one, and I feel large, I feel connected, I feel looked out for, I feel safe. Um, that broader kind of understanding and perspective.
Hmm.
So maybe mine is more of a mental, emotional, um, perception and sensation versus more of like the skin bumps.
Hmm. Yeah, so do you ever
but
get
it feels
like
good.
chill? Would you call them chills, the electrical currents you feel, or shivers, or anything like that?
I've heard people describe it that way, but for me, I don't know if I shiver, and I don't know if it's a chill because I don't know if I personally see those as like positive sensations for me. Maybe I just choose
Hmm.
different words, but
Sure.
no, I would still say the best description is you know it's like I'm plugged in, like it's like
Hmm.
you're plugging in something to the
Yeah.
outlet. I
So,
suddenly have access.
so is there anything that you can do to increase them or extend them, make them last longer or stronger?
I mean, they happen in waking life and they happen in meditation. So I guess to make them last longer or stay in that state, don't get into your head. Like, I guess just
Okay.
stay in your heart and try to like stay attached to the kind of open heart visualization if you
Hmm.
can. And if I'm meditating, I'm usually laying in bed. So that's easy. I just stay there and enjoy it.
Hmm. So, is there anything that brings them on for sure, like instantly?
Oh, oh yeah. Well, I mean, in meditation recently, I have my intuition guides me along in different ways through like picture messages. So as I kind of evolve and get better, connected with source and my intuition and higher power, I get just different. Okay, it's like kind of like, oh, now is the next, the next class and the next. It's a more, what's the best word? I haven't done the same visualization in my meditation from 10 years ago. It's like it always evolves depending on what I already learned, what I've learned, and then where I feel like my intuition and higher power are saying, oh, now you need to, here's what's going to be very useful for you now. So, like,
Hmm.
picture this. And I get pictures and visualizations, and then it helps me understand things. So, recently, or get into the God bumps state. So, in meditation recently, I'm visualizing the physical world and all the thoughts and worries are kind of over here. Then there's like a big, almost like kind of earth wall that's separating me from all that. So that's now it's time for meditation. It's almost like I'm backstage,
Hmm.
like, don't worry, you're not on stage anymore, like you're backstage.
Yeah.
Then I walk through almost like this kind of divider line, which is my higher power that will hold back all the limitations of the physical world, all the limits we put on ourselves and limited beliefs. I kind of when I walk through that wall, it's like my higher power has kind of separated me from the physical world. Now I go into the true essence and the fullness of who I am. And when I'm there, it's almost like if Dr. Joe Dispenza, he talks
Oh
about the
yeah.
field.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
so I feel like I'm in the field. So then
Hmm.
once I get past, I go backstage, I go, my higher power kind of, I walk through that wall where all the limits are left behind. Then I'm in the field. It feels like I'm just like in golden light. Like
Hmm.
I'm in the field of infinite possibilities. I have nothing to worry about. I'm free and infinite.
Hmm.
And that's where I feel like the electrical current is almost like I'm being charged, like I'm being charged as like a cell phone. If you put me on one of
Yeah.
those like charging things, that's where I feel like in that kind of golden field, I'm being like charged. Everything's being repaired in my body. So yeah, I'm getting chills right now
Yeah, me
talking about
too.
it.
Me too. I started getting them about 10 seconds ago.
Yeah. I'm feeling
So,
very like light talking about it. Yeah, because
yeah, yeah.
this also happens to me when I lead meditations because
Hmm.
I'm doing the visualization as I'm kind of describing it. So it's
Hmm.
happening now as we speak. Um, but yeah,
So it
it's such an amazing feeling.
seems like when you visualize that you get the God bumps. Do you ever use
Yes,
them as
very
guidance
visceral.
as a guidance tool?
Oh yeah, I mean, I feel like that is always the guidance, and they're happening more and more frequently. So I'm accepting it as part of like daily life now. It used to be like, when it's few and far between, you're like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I have to record these for the rest of my
Well,
life. These
that's
three
cool,
things.
right?
It is, and now I just keep them in my phone, and whenever they happen, I log it because
Mm,
I like to stay aware and kind of continually look for God. Like
hmm.
if the more you look for something, the more you'll find it.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for God throughout the day. And what was the original question?
But guide if you use them for guidance.
Yeah.
for decisions.
Um, yes, broadly, yes. I don't know if I've thought so much about that question. Definitely yes to the guidance. It could
Hmm.
be little things or big things.
Hmm.
I guess I try to shy away from big right now because I'm about 2 years into really deeply studying law of attraction and Abraham Hicks and
Hmm.
so on. So I'm trying to keep the pressure off. But yeah, like I definitely keep my ears open when there's signs and these scenarios that come up where I'm like, yep, that's God sign. It's like the GodBumps
Yeah.
thing. So I log it, I note it, I try to just integrate it into how I move through my life.
Yeah. A lot of people call them truth bumps.
Yeah, it feels like truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, this is great. Yeah, this is wonderful. I'm getting all kinds of gut bumps. Just
Yeah.
listen.